This was one of the most fun builds I've ever got to do, and for a couple of reasons. I had always wanted to do a big carved table like this, especially a big wood base. You just don't see hand carved wood bases very often, but I didn't have anywhere to put it and I didn't have any customers for it. So my idea was I was going to build this base, put it up for auction. All the money would go to Make-A-Wish and hopefully we could raise some money, and I'll tell you a little bit later what it ended up selling for. But first, here is the base that I'm working on. Just cut a big round circle from some scrap wood that I had from an old project. The stem of the table was laminated from two other pieces of walnut from the same tree, so the color is going to match really closely. And here was kind of my homemade mortise idea. I wanted something pretty sturdy since this was going to be an actual breakfast or dining table. So I made this kind of a little matching mortise and tenon here, and it was very, very snug, and I am very confident it's going to be plenty sturdy. After I got the pieces fastened together with epoxy, it was time to take it outside and start making some dust. And some dust is a dangerous understatement. There was no end to the amount of dust and chips that it took to get this table sculpted into the shape that I liked. And I used a few different tools. Most of them were part of my angle grinder. That's a cut saw disc. I also used an Arbortech kind of turbo plane, I think is the name, to remove kind of the bulk material, and that's what I was using there. And once I got it cut roughly to shape, I brought it inside, started using the spoke shave, and the spoke shave is really nice because there's no dust. And then I used the sanders, which the sanders do a pretty good job of collecting the dust with the vacuum there. And there's always a problem when you have these big wide pieces of wood. They don't actually sit perfectly flat even if you start out flat. So what I did is I made this recess on the underside, and that little block that I carved there was so I could pivot it around and get the bottom perfectly flat. And what I did find was I didn't go far enough with that initial kind of texturing on the underside, so I had to take it back outside. Now it actually sits perfectly flat. The finish I used here is a natural hard wax oil finish, which means you still get to feel all the wood grain, and I did the same finish on the base as I'm doing on the top. This top you might think already looks kind of finished, and it kind of already was. It was just a big wood slab that I bought like 4 years ago. I bought it on Craigslist for $180, and I never really did anything with it. I finished it because I thought it'd be cool, and I tried to sell it for a while. Nobody wanted to buy it, so it's just been leaning up in a spare guest bedroom for many years, waiting for me to do something with it here. And here's how I'm attaching that top to the base. I used 1/4-inch steel plate, countersunk some holes, and it is very, very sturdy. And here's what we got. That is that top that was sitting around. It ended up selling for $12,000. 100% of that went to Make-A-Wish. I did not recoup any expenses. Let me know